Welcome to the Creatives in Convo podcast.
This is brought to you by Creatives for Creatives.
The whole reason we're doing this in the first place is to bring other like-minded creative people together.
We are going to share journeys and stories and hints and tips and inspiration and motivation and all the things you will need for your creative journey. Hello, my name is Sarah and I am the owner of That Alternative, a creative space in Blackpool.
I'm Rob. I own Cooper Creative, which is commercial videography and photography.
So, Creatives in Convo, episode 1, and we decided that the guest speakers is going to be us. Ta-da! So we decided episode 1, we're going to give you an intro to us, your hosts, let you get to know us a little bit better. So going straight in.
Sure.
First question, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do and how did you end up doing it?
So let's take it back a few years. I've done obviously various jobs throughout my life like most people, but the kind of transition to where I am now, I worked in sales for a long time, different types of sales. Eventually got to a point where I didn't want to be in sales anymore due to the lifestyle and the pressure, and just generally wasn't really me anymore. I think you have to be a certain type of person to want to do sales for a long time, which I used to be, but kind of grew out of it.
Yeah.
And then I ended up working at a finance broker in Kirkham, which isn't too far away. Just started in like an admin kind of position just for the sake of getting out of a sales job, and over a few years worked up to head of compliance, so like senior management, so it's kind of going places, always been really ambitious. And then due to a combination of COVID and becoming a unexpected single parent,
Difficult.
yeah, I had to leave that job. I was literally on Zoom calls trying to like give my 8-week-old daughter a bottle and stuff, and ended up kind of having a chat with my boss like, this just can't
Not
carry
working.
on. So yeah, for one reason or another, it kind of didn't happen. So then fell into just doing part-time jobs for a number of years, just whatever flexible schedule job fit into the single parent lifestyle, mainly stuff like bar work and whatever.
Yeah.
That I could kind of jump in and out of. And then it got to a point after about three and a bit years where I'd been working at a bar in Lytham. And I kind of looked around and I thought to myself, I'm mid-30s, used to have this really good career in finance. I'm surrounded by 20-year-olds. I don't even drink myself. So I'm just like, what am I doing? And I kind of thought, I need to rebuild my life, rebuild my career. What can I do? And this was about 18 months ago now. Kind of towards the start of last year.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I could wake up tomorrow and do a job, like my dream job, what would it be? And then I thought, something creative, which always kind of seemed out of reach and not really possible, because you see people earning money either as an artist or a photographer or whatever, and you kind of think to yourself, oh, that looks cool, I'd love to do that. But that's where it ends. You don't really think to yourself, how can I make that happen? But that's the route that I went down this time. I kind of sought out a mentor, invested a lot of money into a mentor of photography, and just kind of started putting steps in place to try and make it happen. Did loads of free work to start with to, one, try and get my name out there.
Standard creative journey.
Yeah, and build my portfolio, because obviously I didn't really have one.
Yeah.
Other than just like pissing about with the camera, taking photos of bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
Good photos, but
Yeah.
nothing that's going to sell. And then fast forward now, I've been a business, I guess, for coming up to 12 months. Obviously, there's been highs and lows, and I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm definitely on the right path. And also, I started off with just photography, never really considered video, always thought it was this super too complicated thing that I'd just never really be able to do. But then I kept getting asked on most of the jobs that I did, do you do video as well? And I had to keep saying no. I realised I was leaving a lot of opportunities on the table, and eventually got sick of being asked and thought, you know what, let's just see what this video thing's all about. So I reinvested in loads of new kit, loads of knowledge, spent months learning like everything I needed to learn. So now I do a lot more video than I do photo. It's kind of like
I was
swapped
just about to say, like, I would put you as a videographer now before photographer. So do you feel like that's been a big shift?
It definitely has been a big shift. Don't get me wrong, I do still miss the photography aspect of things, and I found myself a lot more recently, these past couple of weeks, doing more personal photography projects at home. And you know, for any other photographers out there are obviously different types of photography as well. When I first started out, I was doing a lot of fitness competitions and stuff, so that's quite run and gun, just manic,
Yeah.
up and down for hours on end, and hopefully you end up with some good shots that you can use. Whereas I prefer more of a curated,
Stylized.
yeah. So I have full control of everything, the light, the composition, all of it. So that's why I love things like food photography or like product photography, which I've been doing a lot more of. So yeah, that's kind of where I ended up. I haven't done a photo job in a while, not because I don't want to, just because it's not been needed, and videos just taken over. But
amazing. Yeah. And I suppose there's a saying, isn't it, that you're getting what you put out. So if people are seeing that you're a videographer and that's what you're doing, so you do corporate video, you work with businesses primarily. So if that's what people are seeing, that's going to be your target audience, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to focus more on business. The personal side of things, like weddings and whatever, isn't really for me. I don't really believe that you should be shooting something like a wedding unless that's something you specifically want to do, because otherwise your heart's not going to be in it. You're just doing it for a paycheck, and it's not fair on one, yourself, because you're going to back yourself into a corner of, oh, it's the wedding guy, when you don't want to be the wedding guy, but you kind of end up becoming it. And also for the couple whose wedding it is, they're not going to get full effort from you because you're just not really, your heart's not in it. Yeah, exactly.
I know a few people that are the other way around, where they've done photography in the wedding industry, and they want to get into corporate and fashion and editorial, and they're finding it hard because they know where their money's coming from with the wedding industry. Yeah. That taking that leap and moving over and building a portfolio that isn't weddings while still maintaining that income, they're struggling.
If you're not careful, it almost happened with me with the fitness side of things, because I've been into like the gym and working out and whatever for most of my life in one way or another. I kind of just fell into like the fitness niche, and if you're not careful, you kind of carve out a niche for yourself without really meaning to, and you become known as the fitness guy or whatever it is. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy that kind of work, but it is a different kind of work. And it's not something that I want to be doing forever, because I'm not old by any stretch, but I'm 35 now, and maybe 10 years ago, because for anyone out there who shoots things like fitness competitions, and I shot a lot like CrossFit comps and that kind of thing, it's just non-stop all day from like 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Yeah. Up and down on your knees trying to get the shots. It's just mental. Manic. And by the end of it, you're just broken. So not really for me on a very regular basis. Every now and again, sure. But that's why I'm trying to swerve more into the commercial space, the curated set, slower paced, calmer, more intentional kind of work.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So what about yourself, Sarah? How did you end up where you are now?
So mine feels a tiny bit random. You know, like you said, how yours is totally different because you were in finance and then went to do something creative. I've actually always worked in creative industry. My background is hairdressing. So I left school and did a hairdressing apprenticeship. Then I went a little bit more corporate. I went teaching hairdressing. But I did it at a council-run college. And anyone who's ever done anything to do with government funding will know there is so much red tape and so much paperwork and bureaucracy that very quick it went. I'm saying very quickly. I mean, I did it for like 6 years. It's not like flash in the pan thing, but no. I was an educator for a chunk of time. But I mainly did the creative courses. So I taught the higher levels, the adult learners. I taught hair units for like media students, stuff like that. I did a lot of competition workshops. So even in that environment, I was the more creative educator, if that made sense. Yep. But yeah, just the red tape got to me in the end. I was like, this is too much. For anyone who's met me, I'm a bit of a gobshite. So yeah, it was just, I ran its course. I went back to working in salons with the intention of joining an art team, which is companies have art teams and they're like the head creatives that set the standards for that company.
Yeah, I've got a friend who does that.
Yeah, so I loved that. So went back into salon, loved being back in the salon, being with my clients again. I really did miss that when teaching. You end up with so much paperwork and so much admin time that your actual creative time gets smaller and smaller the higher up you get. So it was really good to go back, be in a salon, get some clients again. And then I joined an art team for a hair and beauty company and travelled around the country doing stuff for them. I became head of education for them, which was really good because that is my passion area, is definitely education. It's still a really big part of my business now. educating, mentoring, anything like that's totally my jam.
Yeah.
But I got to do creative stuff. I was doing stage shows, seminars. I was doing hair for brand shoots. Was doing like London Fashion Week, Clothes Show Live. So it was really fun stuff. Really crazy stuff as well. I made clothes out of hair. We made hair out of random items.
Made hair out of clothes.
Yeah, randomly ended up at, the glass blowers on the way out to the
Yeah.
motorway. Yeah, John Ditchford was in there. We attempted to make a wig out of blown glass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it ended up too heavy. It didn't make it onto the thing, but it was such a fun process. So yeah, so did some really random crazy stuff. And then sadly, I have got damage to the nerves in my arms and the discs at the top of my spine, wear and tear from being in the industry for so long. And years ago, just as I was hitting that height, I was just getting on the art team and I was just starting to get all the cool projects, my consultant was like, you have to quit hairdressing.
Oh, no.
And I mean, just can't even compare it to anything. When it was literally like someone taking my feet out. You've worked really hard and you're finally carving out a place and you're just about to hit that cool spot in your industry and actually you've got to quit. So I had a very couple of painful operations and carried on. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I probably should have wound down at that point. I'm glad that I didn't. I had like 7 more years in the industry doing mental stuff, traveling around and doing shoots and shows and things. So I don't regret that. My experiences were fantastic.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, I just woke up in a hotel room, no feeling in my arms, miles away from home, and thought, it's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
I need to be at home. So then it was that thing of, right, if I'm going to set roots at home, if I'm not travelling for work anymore, what were the bits of my job that I loved doing? So I went to hire a studio space that I could do some hair content in. I couldn't find one. I was like, Then I was looking at salons, that maybe did like rent a chair that I could just hire out that were a bit plain and unbranded and I could film in that.
Yeah.
Couldn't really find one. So I was like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me, Blackpool. Then I knew I wanted to do a podcast and then I couldn't find a podcast studio. I didn't want to do my admin at home. So I was looking for a co-working space and the nearest one at the time was Preston.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking as if, what are all the creatives doing? Are they travelling? And then when I started asking, they were going to Manchester and stuff. And for me, going to Manchester, I may as well have just carried on travelling.
On a regular basis as well. It's just not realistic, is it?
It's not. Manchester might only be an hour away, but actually by the time you've found somewhere to park or navigated the absolute awful trains.
It's a long hour.
Yeah, it's not an hour. So I was like, this doesn't feel local. So I built the studio. I was really lucky actually. I had a studio space before. It was like a loft space, dead cool. And it had like the benches in where I could do hair and it had some backdrops, natural light. But they got planning permission to turn it into a house, which, I mean, it would make a cool apartment. I would definitely live there. But it did mean I was out. So, and then right at the last minute, just as I was about to sign for a really boring industrial unit, this building came up. And in a previous life had been a photography studio. It had been converted into a call centre. So when I took it over, it was
Needed some work.
Oh my God, it was. When I came to look around with my husband, I can actually vividly remember his face. He was walking around and I could read his face. He was just thinking, fuck. There was just,
what have you done?
Yeah, boxes of just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
It looked like a taxi office from the 90s.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
Everyone sat around smoking.
Yeah, you could definitely tell they were still smoking in the building.
Yeah.
There was all like dark wood paneling all over the walls, vinyl paneling, little random things that you got free from the Chinese hung all over the walls. Carpet was grubby as anything.
Yeah,
the walls were yellow. Things had been... Remember, like, there was a trend in the 90s to paint things like baby blue and lemon yellow together. Yeah. So, that was the paint job. Really gaudy, patterned wallpaper.
Nice.
So, and I cannot express to you how much stuff was in the building.
Really?
Random stuff. So, so I'm seeing the potential, and my husband is just seeing hard work, loads of skills.
Work.
Yeah. He's just like, shit. And I'm just like, yay. But yeah, we turned it around in 6 weeks, actually.
That's
So
fast.
really fast. No one believed me that I was going to do it. But I was, again, I mean, ADHD trait, as soon as someone says to me, you can't do that. I'm like, oh my God,
You're
watch
like,
me.
Watch me now.
Yeah. This is what happened when I left my teaching job, when I handed my notice in. And I said, I'm going back into the industry because I don't feel like I did everything I wanted to do in the industry. I want to go back into hairdressing and do some creative stuff. I want my hair work to appear in magazines. I want to, have a quote by me in an article in the trade journals, that kind of
You're known
stuff.
for it.
Yeah. And she just was like, Sarah, come on now. Really? Just stay here. Stop being a dreamer.
Get real.
Yeah. I just had a baby. So they were like, I think they just thought I was being hormonal. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, then I got offered a bit of a promotion. It's such a random thing. You got offered a bit of a promotion and I was like, yeah, I have to quit. I can't do that. That's even more admin hours and that's even less creativity.
Right.
So I just phoned my husband, who had just started his own business. So
Just been offered a promotion and I've quit my job instead.
yeah. You know how we have a baby at home and you've just started your own business and actually I just want to quit my very, very well paid, secure job that gives me the kids' holidays off.
Yeah.
My other daughter was at school as well, so it fit perfectly with her. So yeah, and I just like totally threw a grenade into our settled life. And I was, this isn't creative enough for me.
Yeah.
And off I went. But I really liked that moment where, and it wasn't actually that long after, it was only about 18 months after I left that job, that some work of mine, I was part of a team, but that team's work appeared in trade journals. I got asked for some quotes for some articles about bridal hair and stuff, so my name was appearing in the trade journals.
You got your quote.
Yeah, and then then I wrote a new list, like my first list that she deemed was ridiculous. I ticked everything off, so nice. I was like, going to write another one. And that was even more crazy. I put things like do London Fashion Week, do a stage show, appear on, when they have the seminars and you see people on the stages with the mics talking to the audience. Yep. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. And I do think like some of the people around me were like, Sarah, you're mad. But I was convinced I was going to do it. And again, a year later, I ticked absolutely everything off that list as well.
And how long ago was this?
About 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
12 years ago.
Fair play.
Jesus, while. And then I did that job then for I did that for 9 years. I travelled around doing that altogether.
Then into this.
Really good fun. Yeah, and then this has been 2 years now. It's just had its second birthday.
And
it's exciting.
For anyone that knows you're a lady with plans. You love a plan.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm always doing? I'm always thinking years in advance.
Yeah.
I always have to have the what's next. I'm totally enjoying what I'm doing now, but I'm very aware that what I'm doing now is setting me up for the next thing. Mm-hmm. I do think, again, a bit of an ADHD thing. Do
you find, though, that with that, not to get all philosophical, but it's just the way my brain works, because you're kind of always, to quote Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom, you're always looking over the shoulder of the current moment. Can you appreciate and enjoy what's going on right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I'm really good at taking it in. I haven't actually been that active on socials recently, which my lovely friend Alex will kill me for. But if you do follow the socials, you will see that every now and then I will just, in my stories or reels, you'll see me just literally spinning in the studio with a big smile on my face. And whenever I'm having one of those moments, I do try and share it. I really appreciate, and I don't know if this is because my body's still working, that I really appreciate every time I have a salon day and I'm seeing clients and I'm creating beautiful hair and I think, here I am beating the odds and I'm still doing this job. I'm having to do it slightly differently and slightly less, but I'm still doing it. Yeah. And then someone will come in the studio and do something in there. Like, we had a thrash metal band recording a song and it was mint. And I spent all day just listening to this song over and over again. And I thought, I've heard this song months before anyone else is going to hear it because they're in my studio.
Yeah.
A brand came in and did a brand shoot. And again, I've seen all them clothes before they've dropped. And I do sit and go home and be like, guess what happened today? It's amazing. This is what happened. And
constant behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I do love that. And while I can't always talk about it, because obviously, non-disclosure, if someone comes in and they're doing something, it's not released for months, you don't talk about it. But I will have that moment where I'll spin on my chair or just do a scan of the room and be like, yay, this is all mine. So I am very present, because again, I'm very aware of what I am and I'm not capable of as well.
Right, fair enough.
And those sort of changes. So I do try really hard.
Do you have any set in stone future plans or hopes for that alternative?
Yeah, do you know what? So I'd love to see more creatives move in. So I do residency package, and at the moment I've got a couple of photographers that have residency, and they all do completely different things. So one's dead keen on like branding, predominantly musicians, to be honest. She does a lot of musician shoots, like headshots for musicians. Then I have a guy that does model portfolio stuff, things that are a bit themed and quirky. And another lady that creates user generated content. Another one who does female branding photography. Okay. So yeah, I think just to see that grow, like I'd love to have a resident that did music videos, or
for anyone that doesn't know what that means, so having a residency here, what does that consist of?
So that's where they pay a monthly amount to have so many hours access to the studio, and they can basically treat the building like it's their own. Okay. So they still book in with me like you would a traditional booking, but you get a slightly better rate, and you get to use the building's address as your business address, and host your clients here, hold meetings here, stuff like that. Cool. So yeah, basically you treat the place like yourself. And then upstairs, I know we've had a conversation about that earlier, but I have like an office space that at the moment it's just a dumping cupboard. Yeah. So we're clearing that out and doing that up, and I don't really know what creatives I want to see in there. Like someone suggested a tattooist, someone else said like painters. It's got like a wall with a bank of plug sockets. So anyone that does anything, a bit printing-y, I think would suit in that room. But don't know. We'll see who turns up. When
we start getting our Creatives and Convo meetings underway, I'm sure, well, hopefully there'll be someone in there that sees the space and goes, do you know what? That's a bit of me. I'll get moved in.
I just really want this building to carry on filling with creatives. When the building is busy, so like a couple of times a month, you'll have all of the areas in use at the same time. And I love it. I love hearing the buzz of all the creatives, running about and working and doing their jobs and having their guests in. And I love seeing what everyone's doing and creating as well. And I think
it's quite varied, isn't it?
And that feeds, I think, the educator in me. Like when you're an educator, you take pride out of watching what your students are creating and seeing them get better. Yeah. So when people use the studio and they walk in and you're watching what they create, it's kind of the same vibe, really. It scratches that same itch, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that.
Could it be another mini studio?
Well, a lot of people have asked me to turn upstairs into a daylight studio. They really want to, but maybe in the future, because I don't know if you know this, but the false ceiling upstairs, for anyone who's not been to the studio, on the first floor is like a workshop space with desks and things in, and it has one of those really awful lowered ceiling with the square polystyrene tiles. I hate it. I cannot wait for it to come down. It's on the to-do list of when we've earned enough money. But above that, the building used to be a mill, and all the pulleys from when it was a mill is still in the ceiling. That's cool. So yeah, so we do intend in the future to take that false roof out so that you can see that and have the big high rafters. So maybe when we do that, people can use it. But at the moment, with the lowered ceiling, it's not really.
Yeah, fair.
It's not a good space for it, really. People still do it. They come up here and use it anyway, but I'll let them. Yeah. I'll let them. So next question, Mr. Rob. What have the challenges been for you in being a creative?
Biggest challenges for me. It's probably a couple, to be fair. The main kind of two that jump out are, number one is when you're first getting started, building enough momentum to where but you basically, what I mean is you have to keep putting your name out there.
Yeah.
Because when you first start, you're nobody, you don't have a portfolio. Why should anyone trust you? Never mind hire you, even pay you. So it's just a case of realizing that you have to, if you want it to work, especially for a long time, you have to be in it for the long game. Because I think a lot of creatives get into it, especially when the likes like photographers and videographers and stuff, and they like the idea of being paid for photo or video, but they don't realize the amount of work that goes into it and the consistency that you need. You're going to go through ups and downs and one month you might be absolutely swamped.
Feast and famine mode. We
Yeah.
know it well.
And then, the next month you might have just crickets and there's just no work. So realising that consistency is key, and don't stop putting yourself out there, and don't get disheartened when it is quiet, because when it is quiet, there's plenty of things that you could be doing.
Yeah.
Whilst you're not working on client stuff, you could be working on your own stuff, and there's, a handful of things that we could potentially talk about there, but plenty of things to work on.
I've got, I don't have a quiet time coming up, but I've got a really busy time coming up, and I'm really aware that for me, I get burnout when I'm not doing creative stuff.
Me too, which is weird. It's kind of backwards, isn't it?
Definitely. So what
I know why that is.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Oh. So what I've done is, a few friends of mine who are also wanting to do a creative project, I've set up a little group chat, and so I'm planning something creative for August. So that will get me through my busy time in July. I'm not just busy with work, I'm busy with family stuff. It's a wonderful time, like I'm dead happy. It's not like a stressy thing.
Yeah.
Daughter's graduating, she's turning 21. Well, the daughter's had braces on, so we've been in and out the thing. And then the studio's super busy. So it's all really positive, like good stuff. But it does mean I'm super busy.
Yeah.
And I'm not particularly busy with things I'm choosing to do. It's all things I have to do.
Yeah.
So I've planned something creative for August, so that I'm like, I can see that on the horizon.
Nice. It's at the other end of the busyness.
Yeah. And hopefully I'll be busy in August too, but at least...
Yeah, every month.
Yeah, but then I want to have something creative just to do in my own time.
Just for
It's
you.
for fun.
Yeah.
What do you do? What's your little creative thing you do for you?
So I don't really do it much anymore, but I used to really be into drawing and like illustration and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Always done it as a kid, and I'm not like the best in the world, but I'm okay.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
No, you sit down and it feels like 10 minutes, but 3 hours have gone by. You just kind of get lost in it. And weirdly enough, even though I do it as a job, I do still love photography in my own time, but things that I like to work on. Because when I first got started, it got started with macro photography, so super close-up images of like spiders and bugs and that kind of thing, which is, it sounds weird, but it is really interesting because you unlock this whole different world.
For anyone who's listening and not watching the video, I just pulled like a face because I am petrified of insects. So when he was like, yeah, and zooming in on insects, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'll show you some photos after.
Yeah, no, don't.
But you unlock this whole different world. It's like there's loads of little aliens that, and you get this perspective that you otherwise would never see.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. And like I was mentioning to you before, I can't remember if it was off the podcast or not, but things like food and product photography, I like to have full control over the outcome. So curating the set, setting the lighting specifically, the props, the composition, all of that. I do quite a lot of that in my own time, just for fun. It's weirdly addictive.
It's when you know you're in the right job though.
Yeah.
So like the creative project I've planned is me basically making a wig for a shoot, which is essentially, that's my job. And you're like, yeah, so for fun, I really like creating the sets for product photography, which is essentially your job. So that's when you know you're in the right industry, when you're still choosing to do it for fun.
And without sounding like a bit of a knob, like when you know that you're starting to get half decent at it and you can create good outcomes, that's why it becomes quite addictive because it's like, well, what can I create next?
Yeah.
Like there's this guy I follow on Instagram, and we talk quite a lot. It's called Sam Germain, and he does like really high-end product photography for like fragrance brands and stuff. And I just look at his work and I'm like, that is absolute goals. Just ridiculous. I'd love to actually get him on the show actually as a guest. Whether I'll be up for it or not, I don't know.
We'll do it. We'll put it out.
I will ask him.
Yeah.
Really sound guy though. But yeah, I look at his work and I'm just like, I'm not there yet, but I know I can get there. So that's the dopamine hit for me.
Nice. So what have been the rewards? So challenges were the like being consistent. What are the rewards?
About your challenges though?
Oh, do you know, my challenges have definitely been financial.
Okay.
So my husband works for himself as a plasterer and I'd worked hairdressing. During COVID, our savings got wiped out, basically. And so when it came to setting up the studio, I didn't have a pot of money anywhere. Like I literally had to set it up with my wages. So I had to say to my husband, like, I can't contribute to the house for a while because I'm going to set this up. Is that going to be okay? So he had to start working a little bit more to sort of cover all the housey bills, and I had to earn everything that I needed to set the studio up. And I had to do it as I went. So I had to earn enough money to set that room up, then earn enough money for the floor, then go and earn the money for the chairs. And so, yeah, that was really...
a process.
Yeah, and it was really difficult because I think... I don't think people are always aware. I think they presume that you you get a business loan or someone gives you some money or and it just doesn't, work like that. I mean, I was really lucky. My husband, being a plasterer, is very handy, so he can do a lot of work. And a lot of my friends and family came with paintbrushes, and like I said, we turned it around in 6 weeks. And the reason was because my friends and family were in here boxing stuff up and getting rid of rubbish and cleaning and painting, and
many hands. I
had a really good unpaid but very appreciated task force on it. So I do think I'm very lucky that I have that sort of support there. But definitely 100%. I don't think anyone in my head, I was like, right, for the next 3 years I'm gonna live pauper mode, so I can set this thing up and it's going to be worth it, and I'm going to be able to do it because it's going to be worth it because I'm going to have this cool thing, and it is totally worth it, and I've got this cool thing. But actually, I don't think the minds that the feast and famine mode, them moments of famine, especially when you've got a house and a family and kids, and my daughter's at uni, my other one's a teenager, my husband is already working his backside off covering house stuff. So yeah, I think it's like a bit of guilt, really, that I left all that secureness to go into feast and famine mode, and put my family through that as well. That's probably been the biggest challenge. I was said from day one that it wasn't going to run at a loss, because most businesses, they run at a loss for the first year and then they break even, and then and I was like, no way, I have to be break even from day one and be in profit as soon as possible. And to be fair, through sheer tenacity, I did it. It was profitable by 18 months.
Nice.
And it broke even from day one.
That's cool.
It was never in negative, so yes for that. But like I said, everything that I earned above and beyond is just going straight back into the building, and I'm in year 2 of living like a pauper. And I'm ready now. I'm ready for year 3.
Yeah, I know.
Bring it on.
I've just about finished year 1 of living like a pauper. And, for the creatives out there, especially the newer ones, just, to keep things authentic and transparent.
Yeah.
I'm in a bit of a dry spell right now with work. It's been about a month.
Time of year for it, isn't it? Everyone's on
apparently
holiday.
So, but the month before that I was snowed under with work. So it really can go from one extreme to the other, and the reason I'm saying it is because it's not for lack of trying on my part. It's not like I've had a busy May and sat on my arse and thought, you know what, I can't be arsed earning any money in June.
I'll chill out.
I've still been pushing myself, putting content out there, trying to market myself, my services, everything else. Probably doing more than I used to, and other than there's a few things that bubbling along, nothing's closed yet. No kind of deposits have hit the bank account, and I know there are kind of things under the surface that are waiting to hit. But the reality is that's owning a business and professional life. It's not definitely constant income, especially as a creative, because depending on what kind of creative you are as well. There's obviously other people out there that do what you do. There's a bit of competition. Maybe the market's a little bit oversaturated. So, like I mentioned earlier, just keep going no matter what. And
definitely.
Get your face known.
Do you know the other thing as well, which obviously you'll have to say, and for me, I've been really lucky that I've always worked in a creative industry, and I've been freelance for a really long time. But working for a hair and beauty company, I had a relatively stable income. It kind of, even though I was freelance, it did feel a little bit like employment, really. And I was always part-time working in a salon doing my clients. So I did always have those kind of little pots of money regularly coming in. And I think it's really hard when you've been successful before. So I was like, right, I went into teaching and I was successful. I had a really good job and it was stable, and I blew it up, went into the industry to do more creative stuff. Succeeded in that. I became really successful and had a stable income, and then blew it up because I wanted to be at home. And I know that I'll be really successful and it'll be good. And I don't know what grenade I'll drop on it then.
Yeah.
But It's when you have gone to the top and then you come back down, you start again.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and now I'm at start again mode again. And
It's
I'm
like constant uncertainty almost.
yeah.
Which,
And I've done it to myself and I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, it's hard.
yeah, it is.
So moving swiftly on to the rewards.
Yeah.
The rewards
It's not all bad.
then.
Just wanted to keep it real.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start with this. So my rewards for me, I had this conversation with my husband. He is also freelance, self-employed. And my youngest daughter has needed braces. So I've taken so far 5 days out of work to be with her while she's had teeth pulled out and the braces put on and felt unwell and stuff like that. And I haven't had to ask permission for that. I've just booked it out. And I know we've just joked before we started the podcast because I'm like, oh, I'm so tired today. And he's like, oh, what? Because I went to a gig in Leeds. I took 2 days off. Well, I didn't. I took a day and a half off. I came into the studio. I only worked in the morning and in the afternoon I jumped on a train. I went to Leeds. I watched the Black Keys play, saw my daughter, went shopping the next day, back at work again today. And again, I haven't had to ask permission for that. I just did it.
Yep.
And I can do it because I worked Saturday and Sunday and I'm doing Saturday, Sunday this week. I'm not glamorising it. I can't just randomly take days off.
Flexible.
But yeah, I'm super flexible. My daughter graduates next week, so I'm off. We're having a prep day and then a day and then a day after day and a fourth day, and it's become a whole thing. And again, I can do that. I haven't had to ask permission and I'm not using an annual leave allowance.
Yeah. That is one of the big benefits of working for yourself, definitely, is little things that you don't realise that are a benefit sometimes. Like this morning I had my daughter's first sports day, which was started at like 9:15.
Yeah.
And for most people that are employed and they do the 9 to 5, unless you ask for specific permission, or can I go and watch my kid's sports day? There's none of that. It's just like, go and watch the sports day. It's about an hour. Go home, have a coffee.
Carry on with your day.
As long as you get whatever needs doing done. Yeah. It's relatively flexible and you create your own lifestyle and schedule.
I mean, I have been freelance for a lot of years before I started here, and I had loads of rewards in that, like being able to do the shows and, be involved in cool stuff. I feel like everything has had its own different rewards. I feel like at the moment, my reward has been the whole purpose of it, really. I wanted to be at home. I didn't want to be travelling as much anymore. And now I'm home. One of the unexpected rewards that I've had is actually building, finding a local community. Yeah. So
my reward is similar to that.
Yeah, I feel like now that I've put down roots in the town and I'm networking and I help out at a local art gallery and just meeting other creatives in the town and getting to know them and going to grab a coffee and networking and co-working and stuff like that and hearing their stories and stuff. And I suppose it's that kind of making new friends, people who have similar interests to you. Whereas before, when I was travelling, my friends lived in like London, Darlington. Do you know what I mean? I saw them at work.
Yeah.
I mean, I did see them a couple of weeks ago for a wedding and it was lovely. But yeah, they were sort of dotted all over the place. And now it's finding that little community that's here and finding out more of what's happening in my town as well. Like, I was always really, I'm super proud of living in Blackpool. Whenever I was down in London working, and they would absolutely take the mick out of me for coming from Blackpool. But I would just be like, there is no feeling like getting off that M55 and going home along the prom at night time as the sun's setting and seeing that sunset and the towers lit up for whatever special occasion the towers lit up for. People are out and about having a laugh. It is like, you instantly like, calm.
It definitely looks better at night, though.
Give over. I think the more time I spend working with local people and hearing what other local people are doing, the prouder I get of being here. Yeah. Some of the stuff going on in this town is mega.
It's a surprising amount of business as well.
Oh,
like from
crazy.
Networking for even a few months, the amount of people that are out there and the businesses that they own and the things they do, you kind of don't realise unless you're in it.
Yeah.
What is out there and what people are up to business-wise. There's loads of it going on. And
whilst Blackpool, it is catching up in other things like opening co-working spaces and having studios and stuff like that. And I know that there are more spaces like mine popping up now. Like, they're catching up. I feel like the people who use them are still they've been make do and mending with what they've had before. They've been travelling out and still doing it. But yeah, do you know what? There's like a real sense of community pride here as well.
Yeah.
You know, people are super proud of coming from here and helping out all the creatives and working with other locals. I feel like the collaboration thing in Blackpool's really strong.
Yeah, it seems to be.
People will want to work with someone local running their own business first before they outsource to, like, you know, online or whatever.
Yeah.
I do find that a lot.
Yeah.
I see a lot of recommendations as well, like, guys, anyone know any independent businesses for online? You do see that a lot as well here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's everywhere, I don't know, but that's obviously it's what I'm seeing. I like it.
Like smaller town stuff.
Yeah, I quite like that. I like that vibe. It's cool.
Yes. Well, similar in a way to you. My biggest rewards are where, obviously, I'm only a year in, but where the job has kind of taken me in terms of places and people. I've done some really interesting jobs. I've met some really interesting people that I otherwise never would have if it wasn't for this. There's been a couple of times where I've just kind of stood there and thought to myself, like, I'm here because of doing this.
Wow, check me out.
Yeah, it's like I did a random shoot with in a gym, like 3.5 hours away. I can't remember where it was, Worcestershire or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a fitness shoot. There was 2 people there. One of them was, there used to be this meme like 18, 19 years ago from the fish and a rice cake guy. I don't know if you ever saw it, but he was like this guy called Danny, and he was like this bodybuilder prepping for a show, and became this meme, and people took the piss out of him because all he ate was fish and rice cakes. Just like 8 o'clock he'll have fish, 10 o'clock he'll have rice cakes, and it was just this video that went viral. So it was him, and then a guy who's on the latest season of Gladiators. Oh. You remember old school Gladiators, like Wolf and stuff?
Yeah.
But it's the new season. A guy on there that's on there at the moment called The Giant. Obviously, he was like a big celebrity TV name. Them 2 having a random workout together, and I went and captured the thing, and I was just like, this is so weird, but also really awesome. Cool. Yeah, and then I ended up like doing this Porsche in Preston launched a new car, and I was like photographing that and stuff, and they had like an orchestra and all sorts going on. So it's just, you find yourself in really cool situations.
Yeah. That's one of the things I think being a creative is like, once you're outside that 9-to-5 box and you're in that world, you do sometimes like pinch yourself and think, oh my God, look at my work day. Like someone's paying me to be here right now and look what I'm around. I think as well, some of my friends work what I would call like a traditional corporate 9-to-5 job. And sometimes when we sat chatting about our week, they're talking about what they did after work. Very rarely do they talk to me about what they do at work. Yeah. It's always what they did after work or on a weekend or what they've been watching on the telly, stuff like that. Whereas I'll be talking to them about work, and I think sometimes they can be like, oh my God, do you not have a day off? But actually, my work life's really exciting. Like, at the weekend, someone was doing a shoot where they were doing like, it was like a bit Squid Games inspired. Okay. And then after that, we had a rapper in with a load of people dressed as pirates. And so, you know, like...
Yeah, I saw that on your socials.
Yeah. But you know, when it got to sort of the end of the day and I met with my friend, I was like, oh, how's your week been? Yeah, really great. So I did this today. And she was telling me what she did with her day off on the Saturday. She was like, what have you been up to? And I said, oh, well, I had like some women dressed up like Squid Gamesy stuff. And then I've had like a rapper in with some pirates. And she just was looking at me like, what the fuck's that? And I was like, yeah, that's kind of like a bit of a normal...
Just another day.
That's a normal day for me. The last time I'd seen her I'd been quite band heavy in the studio. So I was like, oh yeah, so-and-so's been doing this video and I've been hearing this and blah, blah, blah. She's like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, that's my life now. Like, it's pretty cool.
This is what people don't realise though about as soon as you start working for yourself, I imagine pretty much every person in business is the same. You go from working 9 to 5, and then as soon as you work for yourself, you're working basically 24/7.
No, I was going to say you work 9 till 9, but then I thought about all the times I've been here till like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And even if you're not physically at work, your brain never switches off.
Never.
So that's the 24/7 part of it.
No, what I don't think anyone fully prepares you for that either.
No.
The really mental load of working for yourself.
Because if you're employed and you work for a company, if you got an email from your boss at like 9 p.m. saying, no, can you just do this? You'd be like, absolutely not.
See you in the morning.
But then you don't even give it a second thought if it's your business. You're just like, Oh, 11 o'clock at night, I'll just sort this out. You don't even think about it.
Do you know, it's really weird, but I have had a really good graphic designer. I'm going to shout out. She's called Jess. She does present posters. She's
I know
amazing.
Jess, yeah. She's great.
Love Jess. So Jess has been doing a project with me at the minute for Photopol, an event I'm running.
Yeah,
with
she's coming to the first Creatives in Convo, I think.
Yeah, I love Jess. So, but Jess sent me a message at 1:30 in the morning because she'd finished a design that she was doing for me. And I was awake and I answered her. And we were having a conversation at 1:30 in the morning. And you know when you think to yourself, like, I was trying to keep my responses really short because there was no way she was expecting me to respond. She's thinking I'm going to pick that up in the morning. And she was like, you know, sorry if this has woke you, didn't it? And I was like, no, I'm awake. I'm doing admin. And you know when you think to yourself, like, no other job would that be normal.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to glamorize it. It's not good. You absolutely should be sleeping and resting.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like grinding till 2 a.m. is not healthy.
It's not.
It's not something
But it's
that I
because we
regularly
want
do.
to be doing it.
My thing is, I had some time off. I'd slept in because I wasn't at work. I'd been to a gig the night before, so I'd had a late night. I'd slept in that day. I couldn't fall asleep. So I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to do a few hours of admin. Just happened to catch Jess. It's not, I was going to say it's not something I routinely do, but actually my emails do have on the bottom of them, if this reaches you at an antisociable hour, I do apologise, but I do my admin in antisociable hours. Please do not feel like you have to respond to me outside of your regular working hours.
Yeah.
And that is on the bottom of my emails because I will regularly remember something at 11 o'clock at night and be like, I'm just going to ping that across.
Nice.
Or I wake up 4 o'clock. They say this, don't they? 4 5 a.m. is the hour of the creatives.
Ah, interesting. See, if I wasn't a single parent, I'd be up at like 5, but no, all the sleep I can get, thanks.
Oh, do you know what? I don't buy into that. You know, like getting up at 5.
Do you know?
No.
I say I'd be up at 5. I probably wouldn't.
No.
Because I need at least 8 hours.
I'm not doing it. I reckon if we did a poll of all the creatives and was like, how many of you get up at 5, make a green juice, jump in the gym, start your day? I don't think that's definitely, I feel like a corporate thing to do.
Also, because you kind of have to incorporate because your day starts at a set time.
Yeah. So I think they do 5 o'clock because they can just get some of their day back from having to be in a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think creatives, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm the odd one out, but I don't know that many creatives who wouldn't, given half a chance, sleep until noon and work till 2 a.m. instead.
If my body let me sleep until noon, I probably would. But 8 o'clock, I'm up regardless.
Bring back being a teenager, eh?
No, I don't know about that.
So, throughout your career and like going into being a creative, what is the best advice you've been given?
Best advice I've been given, and this isn't advice that I've been given from someone that I know. It's just I'm a huge like podcast nerd and into philosophy and stoicism and and quotes and all that shit. So I'll probably come out with quite a few.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry everyone, but this one is I don't know if you've heard of Alex Hormozy or Layla Hormozy. They're big in like the finance space, but the faces have been plastered across the internet, like this big power couple that own this company in America, and they're worth like 100 mil and all this. But she has a quote that basically says, "Fuck your mood, do it anyway."
Yeah.
And that is applicable to so many things, whether it's business. If you wake up not feeling so great one day, but you've got this whole to-do list of things that are kind of non-negotiables that you have to do, just because you're feeling a bit down or a bit sad, those things aren't going away. So do it anyway. Or it could be applicable to things like the gym. Half the battle is dragging your ass to the gym, not necessarily doing the workout.
Yeah.
So just because you're not feeling motivated one day, doesn't matter. Just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you end up building discipline instead of motivation, which is, probably a bit of a cliche thing to say these days, but it's so true because you can't always rely on being motivated all the time.
It's that picky hard thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah. Another one is eat the frog first. So like, again, to quote Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom, he basically said, if you were told every day, right, here's a frog, you have to eat it at some point throughout the day, no matter what, you're like gun to your head, you have to eat this frog once a day. Eat it first, get the hard shit done first thing in the morning, and then the pressure's off. You can then focus a little bit more of the rest of the day on maybe things you want to do or would prefer to do, but do the path of most resistance first.
Yeah, you don't have it looming over you.
Yeah, exactly.
you'll know I have posters around the building that say "Get shit done."
Yeah.
They're literally everywhere. So that comes from advice given to me years ago, which is quite similar.
Yeah.
But mine was more along the lines of like being really careful what things you think you need to do.
Okay.
So I think I'm really easily distracted. Procrastination is like takes up 50% of my time. So I kind of have them there as a reminder, like get shit done, do the things.
Yeah.
So for me, I was told, just stop doing courses, stop waiting until things are perfect, stop putting it off until you're ready. Just get it done.
Do the thing.
Just start.
Thinking about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's never, don't get me wrong, I am impulsive. It doesn't help having that advice in the background. Just do it. Just get shit done. Because it does feed my impulsive nature. But, yeah, things like, right, you want to start a studio? Go fucking start a studio then. Find a space, get some gear, start. Make it better when you're in it. And that's what I've done.
This is also kind of the reason why we're sat here talking right now, is because, granted, you know, this is something that you kind of used to do anyway, and that we kind of teamed up on now. But I imagine, same as me, I had a thought a few months ago where I thought, you know what, there's not really anywhere where creatives can get together. And I thought, why don't I try and create that space?
Yeah.
And then I imagine before you first originally started Creatives in Convo, was it a similar thing to you?
So for me, Creatives in Convo, so this is like Creatives in Convo 2.0, but the first time around, it was actually because I was new to working in Blackpool, because I was used to travelling for work. I actually didn't really know anyone and I was working on my own, and we both know that is really lonely. And especially when you're an ex-hairdresser, I'm used to having 10 conversations a day with different people. To go from that to working by myself was like brutal.
Yeah.
So I started going networking, and I was introduced to like a female only network, well, a couple of them, and a mixed one, and I would go out to all these places, and they were all brilliant in their own right for what they did, but I always felt like a little bit of the odd one out in the room.
Yeah.
You know, just a bit like, oh, I don't really work like that. My business isn't quite like that. My day's not really
All
like
very
that.
corporate.
Yeah, because I don't work a 9 to 5. I don't have an office in a traditional sense of an office. I don't sell a thing, so I don't have employees. I work with other freelancers all the time, very collaboratively. So yeah, I just felt like I was like, where can I go networking where I'm going to meet people who work like I do, who understand what my working life is like. That's kind of what I wanted, really.
Yeah.
So yes, that's why I started Creatives in Convo, and that's why it's back. Woohoo! Because I do think it is really important.
Definitely is.
You need to have your tribe around you, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's the loneliness aspect of it by itself is a huge thing that, again, people don't understand. Especially, obviously, I imagine it comes into play for entrepreneurs and stuff in general, but from a creative standpoint, and like I've said in my previous videos, you find yourself very often just sat at your desk on your own, day in, day out, either doing admin or editing or whatever it might be. It can be a very lonely thing. So that was my main motivation for starting Creatives in Convo in the first place, really. Yeah,
it's definitely important, isn't it?
Yeah.
So another thing, it wasn't advice I was given, but there's a quote which is Jack of all trades, master of none. Everyone's heard it.
Classic.
Yeah, but in its entirety, I love that quote, and I have it on my wall, and I do give it out when I'm mentoring quite often. And the quote in its full is, "A jack of all trades and a master of none is still better than being a master of one."
Okay.
And for me, because I wear lots of different hats, so some days I'm being a mentor, some days I'm coaching and training, some days I'm hairdressing in the hair room, some days I'm running a studio, some days I'm filming a podcast. So I wear lots of different hats, and I spent quite a long time. Obviously, my specialism is hairdressing. I'm a hairdressing expert. I worked at that level.
Yeah.
So that's where my expertise is. That's what I'm a master in. But actually, I really enjoy doing all these other things. And I always felt like I had to be, because I'd been an expert in that, I always felt like I had to be an expert in all the other things to be able to do it.
Yeah, take something to run with it.
Yeah. And then a friend of mine sat me down and was like, "Sarah, calm down. You can just be good at these things. You don't have to be an expert in these things. You can just be good at them to earn money at them. And actually, sometimes you don't even have to be good at it. You just have to know the person who is good at it and team up with them and do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The art of collaboration.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's so true. And then I saw that quote in its entirety and I was like, yeah, I'm taking that. I love that.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So, and I feel sometimes, especially when you are a creative and you're comparing yourself to people who are further down the line from you, that you can get that comparisonitis where you're like, oh.
Well, I saw a video yesterday and it was an Instagram reel. It was a guy speaking about where you're currently at in terms of ability and skill set versus where your tastes are at.
Yeah.
Because as a creative, I might see some photo or video work, let's say on Instagram, and I'm like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to be able to, that's my taste, I'd love to be able to create that work, but maybe I'm not quite there yet. And I don't think those two things ever catch up, because the better you get, the better your taste get as well.
Yeah.
So you're always chasing, like, you know, self-improvement in some way.
I saw a woman and she put one out and it said, the reason you constantly feel like you're failing is because you're constantly raising the bar.
Exactly, same kind of
thing.
thing.
Same ethos. Yeah, I do think creatives definitely have that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give? What is your little nugget gem advice that you would give somebody?
What would you tomorrow want you today to do?
Oh, just see, like, and again, anyone not watching on video, I just like slouched in my chair, like, oh, that feels like that is all about being organised, which I am not.
Yeah, I mean, there's an aspect of being organised about it, but it's more a case of, what do you know you need to be doing to move the needle that you're not doing for some reason? Whether it's something that you're putting off, whether it's something that you need to learn or don't know how to do yet. What's going to benefit you in some way?
Yeah.
That's going to progress your, you know, career or business or whatever.
That you're putting off.
That if you woke up tomorrow, you'd think back to yesterday and think, oh, I'm grateful and thanking my yesterday's version of me that I've done that yesterday. So just constantly trying to move that needle forwards in some way, whatever that is.
I mean, I like that. I do try and live my life. I die a bit like I fail miserably all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, again, I know I've mentioned it before, but I have ADHD, and one of the things of that is task avoidance.
Okay.
So yeah, task avoidance, object permanence is a really big one for me, and rejection sensitivity disorder. I suffer those three things more, I would say, than any of the other things. So me thinking about tomorrow, I would be like, I'm going to just take a nap.
Yeah, I think I'm quite the opposite in some ways. So my mum always used to be convinced that I had some form of autism. Yeah. You're definitely on the spectrum in some way, whether it's Asperger's or whatever. Yeah. Because my brain is very, like, super logical, analytical, methodical. I always need to have my ducks in a row. Yeah. So me saying, like, what would tomorrow version of me want me to do today? It's great, it's, you know, motivational quote and all this, but also if you're not careful, you can start being very hard on yourself without realising that you're doing it. Yeah. Because I really struggle to relax. If I'm not trying to be productive and get shit done in some way, then I just can't. I feel really uncomfortable. For not
being busy.
Yeah, guilt, but also I kind of thrive in that as well.
Yeah.
I'm really shit at just sitting and doing nothing. Like, the amount of times I'll sit be at home and I've got a PS5 there, I'll turn it on. 10 minutes later, I'm like, I could be doing something better right now.
Yeah.
turn it off.
Do you think that's just because you've, like, priorities have had a shift? You're building something right now and there's excitement in that.
Yeah, it could be that.
So I lived and breathed this place all the time, and especially that first year. Yeah, I'm a bit better at taking time off now, and I have a handful of people that I trust to watch the studio for me, and I pay them to run it when I'm not here. But that first year, absolutely not. I took a week off in the whole year, and it consumed every minute of every day, because it was all I could think about. I just wanted it to work so badly that it was just the forefront of my brain all the time.
That's me now.
But I am the opposite in you, in that I'm not particularly organised. I thrive on the last minute, and it has suited me historically because, for example, like if you're doing hair for a show, you can do loads of prep work beforehand, but actually you have a manic half an hour right before that show starts where everyone's throwing everything around everywhere. Everything has to get done in a mad panic, and then the show's on.
Right, yeah.
And even, I suppose, in hairdressing, when you have regular clients and you kind of get to know the hair, that's great. But if you have a new client walk in, you have no idea what you're doing until they're sat in your chair.
No, sure.
You may have had a consultation, but realistically,
A vague idea.
everything is instant and last minute. That's how that world works.
Yeah.
So I feel like my brain's never really clicked out of that.
Right, fair enough.
I'm still very, what task do I need to do right now? What's emergency now? What's a priority now? I'm always thinking years ahead, but organisation wise, yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, fair play. At least you're honest.
Yeah. Just to like, I don't know if Rob's like nodding now, because actually right before we filmed this podcast, I had to re-download the software that I record it onto because I'd rebooted my computer and hadn't done the software, and then had to reconfigure the mics right before we did the podcast. So yeah, he knows that's true. So I also think for creatives, my advice would be, do not listen to people who are not creatives.
Okay. Elaborate.
So this one is going to ruffle some feathers, I think. And so I apologise to a lot of my friends because they could fall in this.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. But if someone is giving you information, have a look at their life first. So if someone is teaching you, for example, I love a lot of my educated friends and a lot of people who work in education. I work in education. I respect it. However, if you are a creative and you're about to become a freelancer and you are taking advice off your salaried teacher, their perspective is different straight away. Even if they're doing the same creative thing as you, they are working on it with a salary. So straight away they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
They are not going to understand freelance life.
No.
Because they're not living in feast and famine.
No.
They're being paid to say that thing by structure. And I think sometimes you can get stuck in that loop of relying on funding. And, you know, instead of going out and chasing and doing and
make it happen.
Yeah. And I feel like that can be really disheartening. I know a lot of creators that are struggling with the having to put themselves out there, being the face of going and chasing and networking and doing the things.
Yeah.
And then I think as well, not just the advice from people who are like salaried to give you advice, but also people in your circle who aren't doing what you do.
Yeah, just anyone really.
Yeah, I come from a family of like, my family are grafters. They all work their backsides off, but a lot of my family's working jobs. They're employed.
Mm-hmm.
So whilst I absolutely will go to them advice on a lot of things, work is probably not going to be.
Yeah.
That, because again, you know, they can give me advice on, you know, the best company for energy or where can I buy cheap tables from. Stuff like that, absolutely. I can have a
General life
conversation.
stuff.
Yeah. They can help me out with like paint and decorating and what do you think about this, and even I suppose if I'm doing a bit of market research, what do you think of this? They can give me their opinions. But when it comes to actual running the business stuff, they just don't work the same way as I do. They don't understand.
It's just a kind of a different way of thinking, a different mindset that you end up developing, different ways of looking at things.
Yeah.
You kind of, just like you've rebooted your computer, you kind of end up changing your internal operating system.
Definitely.
You go from, you know, the salaried, secure life, and not to kind of put anyone down that works a 9 to 5, but there can sometimes be an element of complacency.
Yeah.
Whereas with what we do and any other business owner, you can't afford to be doing that.
No.
So it's a very specific mindset that entrepreneurs have.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean.
So definitely, like, be careful who you take advice off. Take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah. If they aren't where you want to be or haven't done what you are trying to do, don't listen.
Swap lives with them. But also as well, it's that thing of like, if you have an aspiration or a goal or a dream and you say that to somebody, and it could be someone who is another creative, and they're like, oh, again, you've got to think they're coming from that standpoint because they couldn't see themselves doing that.
Yep.
It feels out of reach for them. Doesn't mean it's out of reach for you.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think definitely like just stay really focused. Not a big fan of like stay in your own lane terminology. I mean, it works, but it's definitely that thing of like, if you can visualize it and you can genuinely see yourself doing it, there is no reason why you can't do it. If you come across a very good reason, then fair enough, quit then. But yeah,
makes sense.
keep going.
Definitely.
Rob, I did not prep my random question.
I know, me either.
Did not prep it. So I decided I was going to wait and listen a little bit more about your story and stuff,
Makes
and
sense.
then throw a question at you. So my question is going to be, if somebody told you couldn't use your camera anymore, what would you do?
Would it be a case of I can't use my camera anymore
Cannot-
ever in general, or to earn
Cannot
money?
be a photographer and videographer anymore.
Oh, wow.
What are you going to be?
That is a damn good question. Does that include my drone?
Yeah. You cannot be in this arena anymore.
Okay.
What would you do? What else can you see yourself doing?
I mean, especially now that I've been doing this for, a year, I feel like it would still have to be something either creative, preferably, or doing something for myself. I'd love to try and, if I had to, make money from the art side of things. I don't know what that would look like yet, but again, because it's also something creative and also something that I've been into pretty much my whole life.
As in your drawing art?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
It would mean leveling up a little bit, and I haven't done it for a while, so that'd be interesting. But yeah, that'd be the closest creative thing I can think of if I couldn't do this anymore.
Nice.
Just because I know it and I love it and I've got a passion for it. So, and having a genuine passion for something, I think goes a long way, because I would, and have done many times, do photo and video for free.
Yeah.
Especially since starting out, and I would still do that on occasion, depending on if there was a reason for me to do it.
Yeah. If it filled your cup.
Yeah. So I heard another quote. Sorry, guys. I heard another thing from some YouTuber that I follow, and he said, with regards to doing free work, if you're in a position where you don't need to be doing free work anymore, there's only 3 reasons why you should be doing it. It should inspire your creativity. So if a job falls into your lap, but it's a non-paid opportunity, but you think, do you know what, that's really interesting, or I love it from like a creative aspect, then I'll do it for free, because it like kind of scratches that creative itch.
Yeah.
Currency. So if it has future potential for earning,
Yeah.
like there's been free shoots that I've done in the past that have taken an hour, a couple of hours of my time, but that have then gone on to generate me thousands because of that initial free bit of work. And then community. So are you getting some form of community benefit from doing that creative work?
Yeah.
So it could be a networking thing where you're then introduced to other potential future work because of the community. So if it's one of those 3 things, then I'll probably do it for free. Like the money's nice, but it's literally, I can't switch my brain off from photo and video. I think about it 24/7. I'm not joking. So
I'm like, what could you do if you could do that? And you're like, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's it.
Yeah, just on the dole forever.
Sulking because I can't use my camera anymore.
Yeah, it would suck, definitely.
So I asked you that question, but that's literally what happened to me when I went in and my consultant was like, you need to quit hairdressing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
God.
Yeah.
But at least, you've found a way back.
Yes.
Some way of
Where
being
there's a
creative
will,
again.
there's a way.
Absolutely.
Go on, what's your question?
Oh, God.
Why do I feel nervous?
Do you? I have got nothing prepared. It's hard to think about when you're on the spot. What is my random question? Let's keep it kind of on topic and kind of helpful. If there was someone, a creative, kind of regardless of what creative they were,
Yeah.
and they are either at the very start of the journey, about to start, or they're a couple of months in and they're not where they want to be yet due to whatever reason, what single piece of advice would you give them to get them out of that kind of rut that they might be in? And obviously it is circumstantial, and you might need a bit of context. You might need a bit of context, and it's kind of circumstantial. But one piece of advice that you could give someone early on,
Newbie.
that isn't where they want to be yet.
Do you really want to be there? Do you really want to be there? Would be the first question that I would ask. In that beginning bit, you have to picture yourself already there. Now, that sounds really silly. So if I meet someone who is at the beginning of their journey and they're already talking about that they're not they're not where they want to be, then they're not seeing themselves heading towards there. Does that make sense? They're not paying attention to what they've done so far or where they're going.
Yeah.
So my thing is, if you're a month or two in and you're already in a rut, you're already in a like, oh, how do I move forward? How do I get past this bit? You're not thinking far enough ahead. Your dream isn't big enough, or it isn't the right dream, because it's, like I said, like you have to be addicted to it. It has to completely consume you.
Yep.
So I would maybe look at what needs tweaking. So I had this with somebody. They came to me and they were like, I'm thinking of opening a business. I'm thinking of doing this and da-da-da-da-da. And what they said they wanted to do was a really saturated market. And I was like, cool. So how are you going to do it? And they were like, not sure, blah, blah, blah. Then I saw them a little bit later and I was like, how are you getting on? And they're like, oh, it's really hard, blah, blah, blah. So I sat and had a little conversation with them for a bit. And then I was like, have you thought about doing this instead? And it was similar lines, but just tweaked slightly. And I can't tell you how quickly their face lit up. They were dead excited. They suddenly had loads of ideas.
Just unlock something within them.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, a year later, they're like flying. They're
Nice.
like, oh, I'm doing this. And it's amazing. And da-da-da-da. And I think it's that thing of actually sometimes I don't always think that you're in a rut because something's hard or difficult. I think sometimes you're in a rut because you actually need to tweak. What needs tweaking, what needs changing.
Yeah. Like you saw, like in the weeds, you kind of need to take a bit of a bird's eye view and...
Yeah, you fork in the road.
Yeah.
Do you carry on the way you're going now, or do you need to actually be doing something else? Or sometimes it isn't even about what they're doing. It's actually, do you need to employ someone? And I don't mean like as a job. Like right in the beginning of me opening this, my lovely friend Leanne from... Concept 223 Designs, which I'm going to check, I'm sure it's that. Leanne, she did my logos for me because there's no, I'm creative, but there's absolutely no way a word art logo was in my thing.
Same.
I knew I didn't want an icon. I knew it was going to be words. I had no clue about fonts and stuff. So I had to send that out. Jess, for example, like I know my way around a computer, you know, everyone's half decent at Canva these days. But there's no way I was going to attempt to do the map and the poster that Jess has just done for me. It time consuming, definitely couldn't do it, and it was a task I was really procrastinating on, and I was like stuck. So actually sometimes it's thinking, do I need to spend a bit of money asking for someone's help for this, instead of trying to do this by myself?
Makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes it can be that as well. This is the time where you've got to invest and spend a bit of money.
Definitely
Get your cash out. So I have put out there to the community that we're starting this podcast, and I asked people to send me ideas for a surprise question for the two of us. I know we've just asked each other one, but I wanted one that was going to be, you know, for both of us to answer. And a lovely friend of mine sent a question in, and it was, what has been your funniest experience working for yourself? And I know every time you ask a creative this, they smile and they laugh. Everyone has one. Everyone has that really funny moment of like, oh God, well, I remember when this thing happened. So what's yours?
Mine stands out straight away. I have to be careful how I word this because anyone from Blackpool will probably know this person. But there was a couple of months ago, there was a Hugo Boss advert making the rounds, and it was David Beckham that was the star of it. And I can't remember if it was promoting a fragrance or a pair of boxes or whatever it was, but it ended up basically him driving a car into a garage, and kind of, it was all in slow-mo, like walking into his apartment, slowly getting undressed, ended up in the shower. Yeah. And then towards the end of the video, there was like a scene where his boxers just like fell to the floor. Yeah. And then I ended up having to recreate this video.
Were you the David Beckham or were you the videographer?
I was capturing it all. Oh. But the person that I was recreating it with was slightly different to David Beckham. And again, I don't want to give too many details away because...
They were no David Beckham.
No, like not in an insulting way, but it was more like a comedic approach to it.
I see what you mean. They were doing it in satire.
Yeah, the video was very much recreated in their own way, including the boxer drop at the end. Nice. But I just found myself sat there, especially with like scenes like this person was like taking the pants off, and I was really close to my camera, and I was just like, "What is my life?" in a funny way. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably like my most humorous kind of
The pinch me moment.
moment so far.
I've had too many to even, I can't even begin to pick one. I feel like whenever I'm with my creative friends, that's all we do is like, oh my God, do you remember that time? Oh my God, do you remember that time? But now the question is here. So my funny moment actually comes, I mentioned earlier about a thrash metal band doing their music video here.
Yeah.
So this metal band had been in and they were recording a music video. So they'd set continuous lights up and they had filled the room with smoke. So smoke machine was on. It was really cool vibe. They're literally dead loud playing this thrash metal song over and over again. Now at the same time, I have a very lovely lady that travels up from Essex to run floristry workshops upstairs. So she asked if it was available and I said, it is available, but there's a thrash metal band doing a music video downstairs. So you are welcome to come, but you will definitely hear them through the floor.
Yeah.
And they'll be playing the same song on repeat all day. So it's totally up to you. She was like, yeah, fine, I'll still come. So I was like, amazing. Now, they make the most beautiful, gigantic bouquets of flowers at this thing. I mean, there's like something else. They're beautiful. They barely fit through the door. Nice. They struggle to get them up and down the stairs. Massive. So it's the end of the day. And the florists have finished at the same time as the band. So I've opened the door downstairs and some of my neighbours are outside chatting because it's a nice sunny day. And I open the doors to start letting the smoke out. And as I open the doors, the florists come downstairs with bunches of flowers. So they essentially walk out into the road to my neighbours with this smoke behind them and this like cute lighting with these huge bunch of flowers. And my neighbours, honest to God, just looked at me like, what goes on in that building? What is happening? One of the guys actually was about to phone the fire because he thought a fire was happening because of all the smoke coming out the doors. He was like, do you need me to phone fire engine? I was like, no, we've had a band in.
It's not real. It's
normal like this. But yeah, you know that moment when, you know, we said sometimes you have pinch me moments, and I'm stood in the street outside the building watching this thrash metal band helping these ladies with these huge flowers to a background of smoke, and I'm just like, yeah, what is my life? This is hilarious.
Yeah, this is my life now.
This is not a normal day. Well, it is a normal day, but it's not a normal day for the people.
No.
And my neighbours are just watching it happen because the studios, for those that haven't been, it's on a residential street, so there's only me and one other commercial business here, which is a roofing place. So yeah, the rest is all just residential housing. So sometimes when my neighbours are out, they're just living their normal everyday life, and I have a random Saturday afternoon thrash metal band and giant bouquets of flowers and fill the road with smoke. So yeah,
that's normal.
Yeah, I love that. Love that for us. Love that for my neighbours. I reckon it gives them something to talk about anyway. They'll never have a dull...
In the bloody studio today, I guess. Never guess what happens.
Yeah, I mean, imagine I wonder if they have like little community meetings. What are they called?
Like a neighbourhood watch?
Yeah, neighbourhood watch. Imagine the neighbourhood watch for my area.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened on Saturday? There was 15 pirates on our road.
Yeah, it'd be unique.
That literally, truly happened. And some women dressed like Squid Games. Oh, well, last week it was a metal band and smoke and giant flowers. All sorts. One day they sent the traffic wardens down and some ladies were in and they were dressed as Disney princesses.
Oh, nice.
And the traffic warden, to be fair, gets a little bit annoyed when the neighbours phone and be like, there's people parked on the road. They get a bit annoyed, so they actually knock the door and they're like, we think some of you guys might be on the resident. Do you want to just get them to move it? And so he came and knocked the door, and these girls were like running around, parking the cars, dressed as princesses. And I'm just like, yeah, that's funny.
Like behind the scenes of Disney, what really happens.
I reckon, and my friend suggested this, she said that we should put cameras up in the studio and film, you know, like Big Brother style, like what happens in this building. Yeah. They were like, Channel 4 would lap that up because it is ridiculous.
I bet some mad shit goes down.
I mean, I'm telling you about the stuff I'm allowed to tell you about.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Imagine the stuff that is either I actually can't talk about it, or it's a bit NDA, or actually I just probably shouldn't because I don't want people to know what really goes on in the studio. But it is crazy. Crazy.
Don't be starting rumours now. This is how things start.
Yeah. Some of the... I reckon, like, when you're a hairdresser, you hear some really random conversations. Your clients come in and you hear all sorts. You know, spilling the tea, having a goss. I would say, actually, running the creative space is worse than...
I can imagine, because it's so much more varied and... different types of people that come in through.
And it's some of the things you get asked for as well. You know, where they're like, this really cool. There's a group nearby called Wasp. They do video production. They do corporate and music videos. And they were involved in a 24-hour film competition.
Right.
So they provisionally booked the studio if they got through. I don't know if they get through to a round or whatever. I'm not sure. But they were like, if we get through, we've got 24 hours to film, edit, and send off a video. So we want to use the studio space. I'm like, yeah, no problem. They got here and they're like, obviously they're in a hurry. There's like, they've got 24 hours. They've got to do everything quickly.
Yeah.
And then they're like, right, Sarah, can you do me a favour? Will you stand by this? So you'll be in the background doing this. And then my husband, they're like, if you can hold the polyboard and this guy's going to come in and he's going to shout, fuck off, or get out of the way or something like that. And my husband, they're like, is that okay? And we're like, yeah, sure. Next thing you know, we're signing release forms that we're happy to be in the background of this random film that's shown at this festival in Scotland. Yeah, and you just like, when else does that stuff like that happen?
Yep, definitely.
Funny day. Funny days. So the podcast is very much for you guys. So we will be asking each creative that joins us, we're going to be asking them the same 5 questions and then throwing in a random one. And we want yours. So what do you want to know? What random question do you want us to ask our creatives? So knowing our guest is branding expert Jen Hilton. So started out as a photographer, is into branding. She does logos, web design. She'll do your whole brand image. So knowing that Jen is going to be our guest, what question would you like us to put to her? We're going to pick our favourite. We want them to be juicy. So either because they're going to be really funny, a little bit personal, or you're really digging deep into some info from them. But we want you to have a really good think, guys. We're going to pick our favourite and put them. Hopefully you feel like you've got to know us a little bit better. I've definitely learned some things. Me and Rob are definitely opposites. Mr. Organised over there.
Yeah, I feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing though, because
Definitely not.
you know what they say about opposites.
Yeah, work well together.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a big
balance
fan
each
of
other out, Sarah.
I'm a big fan of a quote though. Me and you are going to get on there. I'll be sending them, you know.
I like quotes too much though, so people are going to get sick of hearing me quoting stuff all the time.
That's not a thing. I like
only when it's
quotes.
applicable. I'm not going to like throw random shit out there for the sake of it. It's always going to have a meaning.
I always do. You know, like people come to me for advice and I'm always throwing quotes at them.
Yeah.
I love it. And after they've gone, I'll send them things. I'm like, you know, is it called pebbling? Where animals give pebbles.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, so apparently sending memes to people, lots of memes, it mimics a thing in the animal kingdom called pebbling, and it's like a show of affection. Like, I'm thinking of you, so I'm going to send you all these little gifts. But mine is always motivational quotes and memes.
Nice. Just like when my cat brings a dead rat in.
Oh, do you know?
It's a gift, I promise.
My nail text cat does that. I'm so glad mine don't. Mine don't. Well, they don't really go out, but yeah, they don't bring gifts. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, I remember going for a nail appointment once, and she'd had like a half dead flappy bird, like all around her living room, feathers everywhere.
Birds are the worst.
Yeah, she said it was carnage.
Yeah.
Like,
feathers and blood everywhere. It's not good.
Gross. Let's cut this out. Or keep it in. Keep it in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to us if you've made it all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's been informative. Definitely learned things about each other that we didn't know before. So
yeah,
just imagine what we're going to learn from the guests that we have on.
So guys, one thing that you might not know is that me and Rob have actually only just met. We literally only met a few weeks ago.
Yeah, well, it's been a couple of months now, I think.
A couple of months. We had a random conversation about how we both wanted to... Well, Rob had actually said about... He had put something online about wanting a creative community at exactly the same time as I had said to my friends, I'm going to bring Creatives Convo back this year. Then I saw Rob post and I was like, oh, we need to do that together.
Yeah, just worked out well.
Yeah.
Team up on it.
You're listening to us answer these questions, but we're going to be learning new things about each other today too. So that's exciting.
Always nice. Thanks for listening, guys. If you found this useful yourself, or you know anyone who might benefit from listening to it, please make sure you like and share it.
And don't forget to tune in to our next episode, where we will be joined by branding expert Jen Hilton.